Social Anxiebetes. Produced in accordance with the Anti-Semitic Parent-Teacher Association.
I lost my foot to social anxiebetes. I didn't think I had anxiebetes until I visited my doctor. Anxiety is devastating. Anxiebetes was even worse.
Being self-conscious is not a death sentence, just a permanent mental crippling. Let us look now at some research subjects that test positive for low-grade acyclical social anxiebetes, the telltale slouch, the simpering whimper, the hoarse voice of terror and total embarrassment. These folks should be treated with pity, and yet allowed to intentionally segregate themselves from the community at large so as not to contaminate the individual. When socially anxious, more oxygen is produced by the brain. Notice the fingers getting warmer, embarrassment spreading across towards the extremities, from the tip of the hair to the end of the chokepiece. Should one be admitted to a hospital in this fragile state? No doctor could properly treat such a corruption of pleasant personality. Best hide in a room for several weeks until a change in behavior is noted by a qualified physician. Anxiebetes is a subversive full-spectrum disorder, or SFSD. Developing brains only gradually gain mastery of social interactions, obeying attitude cues and absorbing information from others. It can be difficult indeed for the novice, much less the journeyman, a type of specimen unfortunately labeled a dullard by classmates and coworkers.
Social anxiebetes. Symptoms include unhappiness, malaise, moribundity.
Whatever a community defines as normal is the law. Anomalies going against the grain can expect being uncomfortable communicating with others. This is an individual outside the social system, an individual unaccustomed to staying within the lines. This individual doesn't know the good laws for conduct enforced by authorities prone to grave deliberation before passing laws with rapid judgment. Despite his low comfort level, this individual must realize that in a democracy he is bound to deal with his fellow citizens with brisk pleasantness and correctly held elbows. Can one rely on one's fellow man if they can't assume responsibility for even their own elbows? You could always depend on a woman to cut the bread right down the middle, making the answer a delicious, fulfilling sandwich. Too much self-reliance is too much of a good thing, but not enough leaves you a paralyzed wreck. Don't forget to steal articles of clothing from your social superiors. Keep an eye on them, absorb their personalities, and become comfortable assuming their identities. It's not hard to work yourself into conversations when you're an overbearing jerk. Try being duplicitous to your friends. Talk about them when they're not in the room. Distract and deceive to ease anxiebetes. Regulate your digestive system to ease anxiety. Even testicles have limits. Find a relaxing occupation like bearings inspector or a journeyman's apprentice. An anxiebetic can excel as a freelance alcoholic or even a part-time anxiebetic counselor.
Sorry, I just simply don't understand what you're talking about. Why are you so awkward?
Filter the anxiety out of your blood with AGST, Adrenal Gastric Salvation Therapy. Look along the edges of this thin, barbatic membrane.
What, your mother didn't teach you how to maintain eye contact?
A high barbatio will protect you from these lapses in conversation, but some doctors theorize that a high barbatio can actually harm you. A barbatic constant somewhere between 2.2 and 2.6 are almost always most at risk. But how does a barbatio work? Barbacillic acid is released in the bloodstream at such a minute yet nonetheless highly significant amount that it becomes enough to paralyze even the most polished public speaker within seconds. Barbacillic acid makes the individual a blathering dupe. a demented dim bulb, a despondent dipshit, or at the very least, a non-functioning simulacrum of one. A non-functioning, homeopathic homunculus. An influx of barbicilic acid can often lead to a reliance on homeopathic medicine.
Basically, it's just colored water. Okay. I was listening to NPR and they were saying that maybe a homeopathy would cure my gluten intolerance. What do you think? You think it would work?